Hey, Jenny, so good to see you today. And on this beautiful Friday morning here on the north coast of New South Wales, the weather is stunning. It's a glorious autumn day. Oh, look, you're rugged up today. Is it chilly up in Brisbane?
It's a beautiful morning, blue sky, but my office stays a bit chilly in the morning. So I'm actually really enjoying getting up early and putting a jumper on till about, 9:30, 10 o'clock, and then I change. But my office is still cool. I don't get the direct sun. So yeah, it's lovely.
Yeah, I love this weather. I love it when it just chills a little bit and it's a little bit of scrummy cold in the mornings and in the evenings.
I live in Queensland, so of course we're going to have to try and get these kind of cold mornings when we can, because it doesn't last very long up here in Brizzy. So we have to take it. The 1 hour I get a jumper a day, I'm happy with that.
That's right. That's right. So how are things going for you, Jenny? Have you had a great week?
It's been an up and down week. It's been a challenging week, but there's been a lot of great things happen and a lot of challenges. But yeah, generally pretty good.
I know you've had some personal stuff going on in your life, which is super, super, super sad. And I love how I've seen your post this week, and I love how you've shared some of that and how you took a day off, which was a special thing to do.
Yeah. So yeah, my lovely little baby, Fred Rocky Gambino, my little Jack Russell, passed away this week unexpectedly. And after an amazing meetup that we had in person on Tuesday night, that was a sad end to the Tuesday evening. But it's, someone said to me this week, he's obviously had his time here and it's time to move on to another family to share love with them. So I kind of love that idea. And maybe they recently watched that Dog's Purpose movie where they talk about the
Yes.
dogs moving from one family to another. So his time was done with me, and someone else will hopefully have the chance to enjoy his spirit.
Yeah, that's a beautiful way of putting it. And what a spirit he had. It was such a privilege for me to have met him
bless. I think I described him as crazy. Pretty much he was crazy, completely disobedient, but incredibly funny. And so, and absolutely loving. So, you got to love a dog that's crazy and disobedient, but also still kind of
the most lovable dog too. And also he utterly loved you completely and wholeheartedly. He adored you, absolutely adored you.
He did. And thank you for saying that. That's very kind. But yeah, it's been it's a challenge, but you know what? We'll find a puppy. We're a dog household, so we'll always have a dog in the house. And now we get to find another rescue or another dog that we can help.
Beautiful. That's special, Jenny. That's very special.
Yeah.
So
but we're talking about customer journey on a positive. But tell me, before that, how has your week been? Tell me about you. What's you been doing?
Oh, I've had a great week. I've been as you know, trying to launch our new programs. 5 steps forward, 4 steps back. We're getting there though. It's feeling really positive. It's feeling like we're on our way down the other side of the hill at the moment, which is a relief, because as you know, launching anything, when you give yourself a time frame, it's intense. And also I've moved, as you know, from a business to a company, so which has been so much more of a drama than I ever had anticipated, with new Xero, new bank accounts, new blah blah blah. So it's things like the bank have held things up. It's frustration. I'm amazed here in Australia that people are still using COVID as an excuse for things to be slow. Like, it's taken 3 weeks to receive the new bank cards for the company. It's like, and they said, but it's because of COVID. I'm like, no one's in lockdown right now. No one's going through anything different right now. So,
and more importantly, if you've got a bank that 12 months on from COVID is still operating is underperforming 12 months after COVID has hit the organization, that's a real challenge for me as a business coach to consider, because they have business continuity, they have coaches, they have strategists, they have consultants who work with them to make sure their operations can continue in spite of anything. And so to be using that as an excuse seems to be an individual's response, going, well, I just didn't do my job, so let's blame COVID, and rather than actually putting in place systems, because that's what we've been talking about predominantly the last couple of months, is how do we overcome and mitigate the challenges that come into business. And COVID is just one of those challenges. And you would imagine that a large bank should be able to manage their response.
I completely agree. And it's not even just the bank. I've come across so many companies that are saying we're held up with this, or even the bank's online over the phone thing was said, we have huge delays due to COVID. I'm like,
No.
no, that's not okay. It's really not. And the one thing that just blew my mind through that banking system is that one person over the phone says, yes, you can set up the new company account online. Then I couldn't. The next one's like, no, I don't know why you ever would have been told that. You need to come down and sign, et cetera, et cetera. And I'm like, I just have not got that kind of day where I can easily just pop off and go to the bank. You know, wow. I've got a very structured day on Zoom with clients and things. So I said, surely there are people that can't physically make it to the bank actually, you know, for quite some time. And so surely you have got scenarios where you can digitally sign things or Zoom with people and all of that. And they're like, no, we don't do that. It's like, wow, this is 2021.
That fascinates me, because even when I set up my business banking account, because as you know, we've had this conversation, I set my company up from day one because I knew that's where I wanted to be in the long term. And I did all mine digitally. So they just send me the documents online. We sign them digitally. All I had to do is send a physical copy to them, which I didn't have to actually turn up to the bank. I just had to send them all my paperwork, and we did it all online. And I think I had one signature that I had to sign maybe 3 or 4 months down the track. But I had bank accounts operating everything before then. So it does surprise me that there are still systems that are a little bit outdated given the environment that we're in.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. It has been an interesting journey, that's for sure. But also it's been good, speaking of customer journey, is it's really helped me think about what experience I don't want to give my clients or my potential clients or even just my audience, that you want them to have things very clear, very accessible. That I was working with a client just earlier this morning and talking about her website and just saying, it's such an amazing website for you and I, because you and I know what you do, but other people coming here, it's extremely confusing. So making sure that we change our language, that we look at things like, you know, when I was talking with her about who is your ideal customer, what kind of language would they understand on your website? Do we actually need click here to download rather than your cute and quirky way of putting it? You know, so that beautiful mix between what's making it a better experience for the customer or what's making it stay on brand with you, and finding that happy medium.
And it's an interesting point, though, because when we talk about customer journey, and that's what we're going to talk about today, is what are the stages, what's the type of information our clients want or our customers want or our partners want at each stage of their journey with us. And it's never the same information. It also says, and when you look at things like, for example, the bank that you're organizing, their focus is on new customers. Because we know that once you're in a bank and you've gone through all that process, you're very unlikely to change. Unless something significant happens or you choose to buy a property or a house through a different bank and then you might shift, you tend not to change your banking structure. So once you're in, there's a lot of process on client attraction in that early stage of why you should choose us, what the benefits of choosing us, and different ways that they get you to engage, whether it's through a credit card, or you don't need a bank account with us, just have the credit card, because then the credit card opens the door to bank accounts or whatever their pathway is. But then once you're in as a customer, I even think about my experience with my financial institutions, you have very little nurturing once you're in the customer. I've never heard from my business banker, and I have one because that's the way the structure is with the bank I'm with, but I've never had a phone call with them saying, hey, how's it going? How can we help you manage your business? Yet I know there's a number of other businesses and other banks who really promote that engagement. And they talk about how they do call their customers if you're a business, and they do have regular conversations because they're trying to nurture their existing business customers. And also in doing so, attract new business customers. So looking at the different way that we speak to our clients and what they need is so important when we're thinking about customer journey, because, you know, even customers we used to work with as a consultants and as coaches, there are customers who don't work with us anymore. And it's like, oh, when was the last time I spoke to them? I don't think I might have to reach out because it's not front of mind for us.
Yes, absolutely. That's a really good point. So those customers or clients that have been with us, but, you know, we fulfilled what we needed to, or they did, et cetera, et cetera. We don't need to keep working together forever and ever and ever. Like, what is that customer lifestyle or client life cycle? But we don't want to also just say goodbye and then they fall off a cliff. We need to keep them in our fold, keep offering them more. And then from time to time, something might crop up and they need you for something, and you'll be there and you'll be the one in their mind so that they can.
That's right.
You. So keeping them in part of your tribe.
And I think it's interesting with you doing the redesign for your business and the reorganization that you're taking that time. And I have a beautiful new client that I'm working with starting this week. And they've actually spent a long time planning their business. They've taken their time. It's been their kind of dream. So it's not their hustle yet. It's their kind of side project. And they've taken a number of years to really step in place all the structures and all the back end stuff, so they weren't under pressure to do that. And now they've done all the systems and structures, they're ready to go. So before, they didn't really need a formal coach, but now they recognize they're taking that next step forward, and now they don't know what they don't know. And so they need that information. So for them, they're going, well, here's my next step. And now as we go through it, I know that throughout that process, they're going to start to open up their mind to different things. But as you're restructuring your business, we go, okay, how do we actually make sure that the products we're offering and the services we're offering meet the life cycle of our clients? And then if they get to the end of that life cycle, what's next for them? We never think about that. What's next? Is it a maintenance package? Is it a check-in every year that you just reach out going, hey, did you want to do a 6-month check-in? Or is it a, by the way, I've got this awesome new retreat or this new masterclass going? So having those conversations and being really conscious of it, I think, is a difference between businesses that do well and businesses that really perform and outperform others.
Absolutely. So in Hello Media, we have different Facebook groups at different stages of the funnel. And our bottom of funnel Facebook group is Hello Media Stars. So that it's the people that we're currently working with, but it's also all the old clients too. So they might have been a client from 5 years ago, and they're welcome in that group, and they can still reach out, ask questions. We still post in there regularly, as part of our strategy, but it's just stuff that's just for the people that know me, that have worked with us before and all of that. And so it feels like a really nice place to be. And it's definitely not as active as the main Hello Media group, which is our top of funnel group. And then, we have various ones middle of funnel, depending on, who's doing what. Yeah. But that top of funnel group, there's lots going on because it's a very, very big group. Well, not very big. It's not like 20,000 or 5 million, but a big group for Hello Media. And then that bottom of funnel is much smaller, but it's all people that either know each other through webinars, through through group coaching, through whatever, but also much, much older clients too. And it's a lovely spot to be. And I think that, sure, we will also target them with newsletters and things like that, but having that spot that I know that at any point that I can put a post in there, tag them in it and say, hey, was thinking of you when I saw this would be a great resource for you for So it seems like a really nice way to keep them in the fold. What about you?
Definitely. But I think that's, and then you're in the business of talking about marketing funnels and sales funnels and business plans and structures of business to help businesses grow. But we have these stages, and when I talk to clients, when I'm engaging with my clients, I put them in kind of 4 big buckets. It's those people who you want to know you, who don't really know you yet, but you'd like them to know you. So what type of information do you need to share with people who really they don't know they have a problem yet, and they don't know that they need you or that you're there. Then there's that top of the funnel group that potentially second level down, where you've got those people who know who you are and they really like what you do, but they haven't bought anything from you. So it's just that constant, their conversation's different. They know about business, or they know about services, they know something. And sometimes a little bit of information can be dangerous, but they know enough to get them by, but maybe not enough to grow. And then those people that we're actually working with and engaging with. So when we have these 4 buckets, it's, I don't know you, you know me, you work with me, and then you have worked with me, and that the piece that happens after. And when we talk about the products we offer, the way we engage, and the information we need to share, knowing who we're talking to at each stage and the information really makes it so much easier for us to do our job well and engage them, and also get them to continue to stay with us, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Because when you feel like you're part of something, it completely changes it, doesn't it? And if you feel like you've just been off-boarded, and there you are floundering around, or standing on an island on your own, then that can be quite an unusual feeling. So, for example, I personally like to know when I've joined something or been part of something that there's something else afterwards. So that I've been doing this program with Ash Griffin, health and happiness coach, and it's been amazing. So at the end of the 6 weeks, there was the option to obviously go it alone. That's not a problem. Or there was like a maintenance program that you could be part of. So you still had a Zoom, but it was only once a month rather than once a week. And you could do one-on-ones, and then the charge would be that. And then you could do this or do this, but you were still in the Facebook group, which felt great. I personally chose to do the program again because I loved it that much, and I knew I needed hand holding as I went through this journey. But what I loved is that the options for us were incredibly clear.
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone walked away. I think everybody said, there was 2 of us that said we want to do it again, and everybody else said we want to be in the maintenance program. So I think having a really clear offering of what happens afterwards is great, particularly if it doesn't feel like it's a sell. You know, it's not like, oh, well, you've done this now, so you must spend more money with me. You know, I think that giving people options for how to stay involved with you that don't necessarily cost them.
And I love the way that you've described her program is that if you learnt the skills and you're able to do this on your own, then that's amazing. We're here to help you when you want to. But if you want those different levels, but what the key piece for me from that, and it's a conversation you and I have quite regularly with our clients, is what's the pathway? Where are you taking them on that journey? So when we think of customer journey, customer life cycle, the life cycle implies, you know, they begin, middle, and end. Whereas we want that kind of circular approach where there's always something, there's always a next step. So we're doing kind of a forward motion of that life cycle rather than just a circle where we kind of come in and come out. And so knowing what that next step is, knowing very clearly that these are the options you can have, then it makes it much easier for your clients, and it doesn't complicate things. I know that our word, to uncomplify. I mean, that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to make it easy that you say, here's the program for you. There's 2 options. You can do this one or this one. These are the ones I think you should work for. And they go, great, I'll choose one. And then as you go through that program, what's my next step? How am I going to build my skills, whether it's confidence, whether it's self-esteem, whether it's digital marketing skills or marketing skills in general, whether it's business structure, whether it's getting confidence about how to run a business. It doesn't matter what the steps are or what you're selling. It's actually about what is the next step that we're doing in that process.
Yes, absolutely. So Jenny, I'd be super intrigued to hear what's your customer journey. So pretend that I've been, someone's told me about you. I've just liked your Facebook page. That's my first, and maybe I've even gone and looked at your website. What would be the next thing? Would it be that you offer me a discovery call or something? Or what's the journey for me as a brand new person interested in what you've got to offer?
Such a great question, and one that we've been talking about in our team a lot too lately. So I'm a fairly laissez-faire person in terms of, if you want to work with me, please come and work with me. And I know that I need to be more proactive in doing that. And I am sometimes like that. So what I tend to do is I like to give lots of value through the posts that I do. So I do a lot of social media posts that are providing values and tips that they can take and action straight away. So the first thing that I would probably do is connect with them and ask them, if they commented on a post, reach out to them and say, hey, thanks for commenting. Is there anything I can help you with? Did you want to set up a call? But I'd always invite people to either my monthly meetups or with one of the webinars that I'm doing. So come on and learn a little bit more about me. So I like it to be a nurture process rather than a sell. So come and learn more information. Here's a whole range of free activities or free resources that you can have to do that. Once I get into that process, then I'd be like, hey, how'd you go? I'd connect with you after and ask you how you found the event, follow up and let you know the different options to work with me. If it's specifically a discovery call, then I always talk to them about what they want, what their challenges or what their problems are, and solve them. And I offer 3 very clear pathways. People can work with me one-on-one. They can join a group coaching program, which is just a fortnightly coaching program, or they can actually join our mastermind program, which is weekly coaching and the retreat. So there are 3 very simple options depending on where they're at. And what I've been finding is most of my clients either come in directly for the 6 package program and they just come in, work with me for 6 one-on-one sessions, and then often upgrade to the retreat, or they come in with a group coaching and then upgrade to the retreat after, because the retreat is amazing. And so it's very clear. I like simple. I like, here are the 3 things you can do, choose one. And if you don't want any of those right now, stay in the group, come to the events, keep asking me questions, and we can book another call in 3 months' time. So that's kind of the process I do.
Okay, so say, obviously I've been in your mastermind and I've done the amazing retreat, but just say for just for whatever's sake.
Giggles, yep.
Yeah, that I'm now at the end. So I've done my retreat, I've done all of my sessions with you, we're finishing. What happens next? What's that next part of that customer journey?
And that's the piece that's my favorite piece, because that's when I like to check in. So what I would do is I would offer them two options. One is essentially maintenance. Did you want to check in every 3 months? We organize a quarterly strategy session where we just pop in every quarter, have a chat, see how the business is going, uncomplicate anything and unmess any tangles they have, and then let them go. So it's a quarterly maintenance package that they can have. Or the other option is that we do essentially a monthly mastermind maintenance program. So they can stay in the group coaching sessions, or they can stay connecting with me once a month. So it's just that continual kind of touch base. How you going? What can I do to help you? And what I do with all my programs is pretty much unlimited messenger support as well. So at any time, if anyone has any problems, they can message me and I'll answer the question. Sometimes I jump on a quick 30-minute Zoom. I did that yesterday to show someone how to work out how to layer a track on Audacity. So just something completely random about a system or a process or a question. We always offer that for all my customers, because as you know, high touch, deeply human programs. We don't know what we don't know until we need it, and then we need the answer. So that's what I try to offer my clients.
Absolutely beautiful. I was just working with someone yesterday who was giving me his tagline, and I loved it so much. And I thought it was so clever, and I wish I'd written it down or remembered it perfectly word for word, but it was something similar to what you said earlier. But he basically said, I offer you what you didn't know you needed and you didn't know you wanted.
Well, that is awesome. I love that.
Going to automate it in a way that you never knew you liked, or something like that.
That's phenomenal.
All these negative, but turning out into a positive.
Yeah.
The way
I like that, because it makes you start thinking of all the things you don't know.
Yes.
Like, what things I don't know? Tell me things that I don't know. That's what I want to know. So for me, that just like opens my mind for wonder. So tell me, Carly, what is your process?
Well, my process is very similar to yours in terms of, oh, I've just pressed, oh. Can you just give me one moment, Jenny? I've just created a little scenario. Hang on a moment.
That's okay.
And I had to turn the volume off, but can you hear me?
I can.
Yeah. That was a thing. So I do love that little, it gets me dancing each time. Okay, so what happens is you might see me on Facebook, or, you know, often it'll be a referral or something like that. The first thing will be, hey, jump on a discovery call, or it will be just lurk in the Facebook group. If you're a woman, join the Positive Passionate Women in Business Facebook group as well. That's a really, really, really low cost way to come in and get in the fold, because it's $90 a year for the membership. And then you've got those monthly online meetups and, you know, other lovely things that come along with that. So there's these two kind of different places that I can have people coming in. And then from there, they can either stay at that point, same as for you, where there's, you know, constant learnings. There's that I've got the free fortnightly webinar that they could come to. They can, all kinds of things happen at that top level. The next thing that they would come to is one of the 3 different programs, which possibly is going to be 2. I'm still considering my restructure. And the new thing for my scenario, though, is that none of my masterclasses are open to anyone else. They're only now for clients. So that's probably been my biggest change. And that was a really necessary change to happen. And then of course there's the one-on-one and all those options too. So, and some sideline things as well. So, but what I'm really working hard at is not sharing all the sideline things, because like you said before, very clear, the 3 things you offer. I feel for so long I've had so many things to offer that it's confusing. So it's been about pulling it in, making it a little clearer, and then only offering all those other things to my clients, rather than it's all out there to the world and which do you want? It's just intense. So
and what I like about what you're doing though is that there's so many special things that your guys get once they're in the fold, and you only know that once you're in the fold. And I think that as a customer journey, particularly in marketing and particularly the work that you do, which can get so complicated and overwhelming for people, to give them that really clear option of come and work with me and learn some stuff first. So once you learn some stuff, you've got confidence to then jump into a masterclass, confidence to jump into the bigger coaching programs, and let's deep dive with one-on-ones. But by doing that, you're actually helping your customers take them on their own, digital marketing or marketing journey of stepping in the water, stepping further. Now I'm going deeper. Now I'm swimming. And now I'm like, doing backstroke in the middle of the ocean because I can. And I love that for you. I think that's such a beautiful journey that you're actually creating for people now with those new programs.
Yeah, it definitely feels better. And also I learned the hard way with a problem, which you know about, where I no longer want to have people joining the masterclasses that aren't my clients, because it's important that I know them, they know me, we know how we work together. And when they come into a masterclass and I've already got a grounding and an understanding of their business, it makes such a difference.
Definitely.
In what we can then move forward with and achieve. And I really enjoy that. I really enjoy all those different touch points that we have along the way. And then in terms of an offboarding or a carrying on with that journey, then basically it's that Hello Media Stars Facebook at the bottom, which feels really wonderful. We only created it a few months ago. And I'm really
love
happy
that.
I'm really happy to have it there. And and you know what we did is we set it up and then we just went boom, invited all the different people, and it was amazing the amount of messages we got saying thank you so much. It's such a, I feel so lucky to have been invited in, because these are people that we maybe hadn't worked with in 3 years or more, and they've been following along and seeing what's happening, but then to have them brought into that fold like that was a really wonderful thing. So it's been a great, actually might have been at the very beginning of the year that we set that up. I can't really remember, but it's been a little while, and it's been a really wonderful thing. So then I feel like I would be happy to offer all of those people the masterclasses. So even though they're not a current client, they've worked with me at some point. So I know them, they know me, and we know how we work together. So that's a really a nice thing too. So yeah, it feels like it's almost like you get a little badge once we're working together. And also the same with our the Positive Passionate Businesswomen. So that's like them getting their badge, and then once they got their badge, then they can come and be part of anything. So yeah, it definitely feels different for me from how I've run it before, but it feels way better. It feels really comfortable.
And when you have that alignment between how you want to work and what your customer journey is and that life cycle journey, you really do get into flow so much more easily, because you can, as you say, you're group coaching it often for new starters or people who are starting their journey, or maybe have been for a while and just continuing to build their knowledge. But once you jump into that masterclass, you do want some foundation. You want them to take them to the next stage. So you're actually, by providing your programs that match the life cycle, and it's one of the biggest things that I see quite regularly is a lot of my customers, they'll have all these amazing programs, but they actually don't know what customers are coming into each, or what clients are coming into each program, and they're getting messed up because the wrong client comes in, or a client that, as you've had, doesn't fit that program because they don't have particular knowledge. So it does create a problem when we just kind of, which is common these days, of let's just create programs and products and throw them in the market because that will get us more money. But actually it detracts from the business. It takes away from your client journey, and your clients start to get confused. So by having this, stripping it back and saying, what is the life cycle? What's the pathway? Customer journey, customer pathway. What's the roadmap that you want to take them on? Showing them the roadmap and saying, this is your path. You can jump on here, but this is what it's going to look like in the end, gives people certainty. And essentially customers want to feel that you're a safe pair of hands, and whether you're buying a product or selling a service, that it's a safe pair of hands or a safe product that's going to solve my needs and help me live my life better. That's essentially what we're trying to do, regardless of what you're doing and what you're selling or giving. So I think by having that alignment, it just makes the process so much easier.
Yes, I totally agree. That alignment is the most important thing. And also when you said certainty, wow, that's important. And so not just for our clients, but also for us. I really have got better and better and better at working out who I'm going to work with and who I'm not. And it's the who I'm not that's even far more important, because I'm still learning after many, many years, that there are some people, and it's interesting for me, the ones that tend to be problematic are the ones I give so much to, because it's like I'm constantly trying to fix it. And actually I need to realize it's actually not going to be fixed. At some point you just need to wave goodbye and both of you move on.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be in that scenario where I'm giving more where it's to the squeaky wheel or something. I want to give more to the ones that fill me up. So
It is such, but that's such a big challenge, isn't it? I mean, particularly as business coaching, and I mean, your digital marketing or your business coaching is still the same in the same scope as what we do in terms of an elephant in the room around business coaching, structure, strategy, consulting work. Is this is our life, this is our IP, this is our joy. And we don't do this only for the money, because if we did that, there'd be much easier ways to do it than probably run a business, right? But running a business and doing this, we're choosing to give our heart and soul to our clients on a daily basis. And so it's important to make sure that when your customer comes in, that there is that fit. And I think that's a really important piece. We don't necessarily want to take everybody. And it's such an easy trap for new business owners and even people wanting to grow to fall into, is like, let's just get lots of clients and then we'll work it out later. But if you do that, you do become, you get into a stumbling block and you start to build your business for a client rather than for you. And that's where we start to get those people who get burnout. They just go, this is all too hard. I don't want to be here anymore. Or my clients don't fit my business. Or I'm having so many challenges and lots of negativity because they grow and build the wrong way.
Absolutely, which is a very good moment to say, I think we already had a topic for next week, but if we did, I can't quite remember. So did we have one for next week?
We did. You can ask me to remember what it is. It's a copy that you really want. I wrote it down. You know how terrible we are. We're like 17 different books and we talk so much during the week. But I'll have a think about what it is. Maybe Merlin can remember what it was.
Yes, she probably will know.
Yeah, that's right.
Women supporting women in business. That's great. So my meetup this week the topic was collaboration. Yeah. So and you know, how to support each other in business, etc. And I gave lots of ideas for collaboration. So thanks, Merlin, for that, because yes, I definitely want to talk about that with you. But then how about we look at the following week, the issue around tricky things. So we could just call it trickiness. So whether it's tricky clients or tricky processes or tricky anything that's causing us a little bit of angst or stress or anxiety, or how to deal with the trickiness in business.
I actually think that's a really great idea, because that trickiness, or those things that kind of the stumbling blocks and the challenges that we face in business really become crucible moments for us in terms of how we grow or how we stay the same or how we actually get out. And so knowing how to manage those, I think, is so important for our growth, but also for our clients' growth, isn't it? Like for us, knowing how to manage those challenges makes the engagement so much better. So I would love to talk about the trickiness of business in a couple of weeks.
Absolutely. And hopefully, Merlin, if you just make a wee note of this, that within that, we also want to be able to talk about getting feedback and how we ask our clients for feedback. It's something that I'm looking at the moment, and I know we've chatted about that, and you know, feeling brave to get that feedback, and particularly if it's feedback that you don't want. I've been
true. Normal feedback can feel good.
Yes, absolutely. So I look forward to next week, Jenny, and chatting with you about women in business.
Definitely.
And moving on to trickiness after that. So how can people get in touch with you, Jenny?
So to get in touch with me, at Elephant in the Room AU on Instagram and Facebook are the quickest and easiest way to get in touch with me. You'll see some of the content that I've written. Connect to me through Messenger. Elephant in the Room at Elephant in the Room AU, trying to stumble over my words. The website also, Melon will pop in the group, and we put in the group chat, it's EITRconsulting.com, and that has all the information about our coaching programs and our retreat that's coming up in a couple of weeks in May.
Wow. And so tell everyone a bit about your retreat. Have you got any spots left?
I have 2 spots left on the retreat. It's a 3-day immersion business retreat where we basically go through and unpack your whole business, look at some of the challenges, and help you develop strategies to move forward in your business. It's lots of fun, lots of really great food, you know, some wine at evening if you feel the need, and it's a lot of conversation. So really it's about a safe space to build and grow your business and understand some of the challenges and get past them for your business. And it's the best. It's my favorite program that I run. I love group coaching. It's actually the stuff that really lights me up and excites me, and being able to do that in a 3-day focus is beautiful. So 2 spots left.
Amazing. And are you holding a meetup?
We actually just had a meetup this week, or meetup at the event.
Yes.
Yes, we're looking at on the Saturday night. So the Saturday, the 22nd of May, we're having an unnetworking dinner. So essentially come along, share, meet with other business owners, talk about business, talk about life, go for a walk on the beach, whatever you feel it. But we're basically, because we're 100 meters from the beach. And so it's an idea to come and collect and join forces. So we're at Cabarita Beach, is the evening on the 22nd of May, and it's the unnetworking business networking event.
Jenny, I have so much FOMO because I'll be doing something equally glorious. I'll be in New Zealand at my sister's wedding. So thank goodness for that bubble being opened. I'm really excited about that, but I have major FOMO about missing that. So
and how do people get in touch with you and see all these amazing new things you're doing?
At hellomedia.team is how to find me. On the website, on Instagram, and on YouTube, etc., and hellomedia.dreamteam. But the Hello Media Facebook group is probably the place to start. And of course, you can book a discovery call and we can just have a chat about where you're at in business and how you need to get visible so that people know about you. So, exactly. So great to see you again, Jenny.
And you too.
Very much. And look forward to seeing you next week and talking about women in business.
Have an amazing weekend, and thanks everyone for joining us today.
Thank you. Bye, guys.